Let's bring to you the front pages of the newspapers. Next, we have public affairs analyst, golfer, accountant, not general chartered accountant, but there's no general added yet, just yet. Maybe now that there's a lot of changes from the presidency, we might see him join there. Please, we have, make welcome Sesan Okunade, who joins us. Good morning. Good morning. Ekaro.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. It's a pleasure to have you. And I don't know if I've told you this.
You are one of my favorite analysts.
You are one of my favorite analysts.
He was going to say that.
Yeah, I think you mentioned. Once it's being, I will believe.
Can I say something to you?
Yes, no.
So you I hate lies. He said the same thing to Mr. Michi yesterday. He says the same thing to every analyst.
Yes, yeah, today is it the same?
It's not the same.
As of today, right now, you are my favorite.
Okay, all right.
But only change Lola.
to actually translate, but it can change by tomorrow.
Always a great thing. You see, the comic side that we put to this actually downs the tension. If person carry that wahala put for a joke, don't be today's my
does.
I make delivery to me say me will not die in their world. Not die in their world.
Okay, let's go to this Nigeria. Let's start with this Nigeria newspaper. That's what we're going to start with. So let's have that on the screen. CBN slashes benchmark to 26.5% over inflation decline. I don't know if you're excited when you saw this story, but when I checked, I saw it was 27%. So they just removed 5. So it's 26.5. They removed 5.0. And I'm like, okay, I was expecting them to remove like 20. Sorry,
why
like 15, you know. But it was out
in
of
accounting terms, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, it does a lot. It does a lot.
It will make some significant, but not the common man that should feel the impact may not get that small basis index that was reduced. But because a lot of us are still looking in line of having as low as maybe less than 20%, 18%.
It used to be less
around
12, 13, then we rose to 17.
You know, a lot of people with 25% benchmark, you're still not going to have your business well. You can imagine what the margin will pay when you are paying as much as 26.5 on borrowing. So what will it now be that you put as your benchmark for margin?
Before you start making profits.
Making those profits. So we still want a situation where they will work this out and we can come as low as 15 to 17%. Some countries are talking about single digits.
Single digits,
when it comes to this. So that's why most businessmen will tell you that it's pretty difficult to compete with such countries. So where you have your borrowing to be in single digits and you are having 26.5.
You already have a huge head start.
There's a gap that needs to do. But let's see how much they can go before the end of this administration. Possibly we'll come to 18, 19 stuff in terms of that.
Let's take the big one. The front page of this Nigeria. Police shake-up throws out IGP Egbetoku to judicial in. It's like football substitution.
I mean, that's a very harsh headline.
That's a harsh headline, though. Yeah.
You know,
throws him, but it did not throw.
He resigned.
He resigned now.
Due to family affairs.
But
this Nigeria is
the presidency said he resigned. Information reaching says he resigned. But from different quarters, there's
But this Nigeria is now saying presidency sources says he was asked to resign.
Yes, so that's what
they are not buying the family.
They are not buying the family story. There's also a story of him wanting to go to Ogun State to run. You know, and then there's a story of there was an alleged money that moved into his son's account, Victor Egbetoku.
But they said he was refunded.
And yes, they said, but before it was refunded, Sarah reporters had mentioned that they did the investigation and spotted it. Allegedly, I mean, that's what they said. But Sarah reporters said they found the report, they found the story. It was on state security in Anambra State. 100 million moved from Anambra all the way to his son's account. And they said, how was that possible? And then all of a sudden, Sarah reporters also mentioned that the outgoing IG had mentioned to all the police force to put out a statement, which they all did as at 3 days ago. I stumbled on those statements. If you check all the police spokesperson, commissioners, they kept putting a statement on X saying this does not happen and so on and so on. Sarah reporters had already said this would go on. It seems Sarah reporters also made mention that the courts had sent a restriction to one Mr. Omoyele Sowore not to discuss or talk about the issue, and he was restrained. You know, So everything is just, I'm just saying, if you look at the puzzle, we're not trying to place the puzzle ourselves, but we know time will tell. But I mean, what's your take?
You see, my position on this is whatever it is, the information we have at hand, he has resigned. Whatever the story behind it is actually meant for him and his family. And part of the things we keep telling people that are leading us is whatever opportunity you have to be in position of authority, no, it's just temporal. Some people will always tell you that the only person that does not go on holiday is God. For every one of us, whichever position that you are actually occupying today, years to come, it might become a story that you become past, either immediate past or past, and that will just be. So whatever the issues surrounding funds moving around, the same report stated it that it has actually been refunded back to base. Whether it's transit or not transit, the issue there is he has resigned. We need to move on. I think we just need to set the agenda for the new person, because every day we come in here to discuss, we discuss more on security, because a secured environment is a prosperous environment.
True.
Because of the level of insecurity, I'm sure you know a lot of things that are happening, and people have said we are not at war. Why do you see military men parading the street when issues that are civil, that should be handled by the police, are actually not been there? So for me, I think the next line of agenda should be appreciating Egbetokun for all that he has done within his own beat while he was IGP, and set the record for the new acting IGP on things that are expected from him. Because for me, I keep asking myself, he has come in, a lot of expectations. So people are actually looking at maybe one of the DIG, succeeding in. But now you have to allow all the DIGs to go. And you are bringing AIGs. See, a lot of people.
Frank Mba is there too. Frank Mba, the once loved spokesperson
of Nigerian police. Yeah, that's the way things run. So I was caught at base, but I feel it is what it is. So when issues like that happen, as a lot of us are clamoring that it should be one of the AIG. I'm sure now that you know that most of the AIG now will be promoted. So it's a blessing in disguise. Some will definitely...
It's a blessing for some. Some have to make
the sacrifice and just leave, and some have to just, say, thank God for this opportunity, because with this now, whether they are CP or whatever, they will be stepped up and take the position of what it is. But we just need to set agenda, and the number one agenda, which I can link with the dinner that Mr. President had with the governor 2-3 days ago. Yes. He was talking about state policing.
Yes.
That is something that they are going to see a way of executing before the...
And one person has a track record of maybe setting that up possibly. It happens to be Disu.
So you can see the correlation. You can see his antecedent when he was here as RRS. And the discipline. I passed their office yesterday and I gave kudos. Yes. I was going to a station and I passed and I said, can this one be policemen compared to the regular? Their vehicle, the neatness, even their composture, the way they address
things. They wash their vehicles every morning.
Just like the last guest said, that during the time of Egbetokun, policemen were dressing anyhow. They were not represented properly. They were not wearing their uniforms. They were acting differently.
I can tell you that will take a different look from the president we know with RRS. Have you seen any RRS vehicle out there that look that rickety like the regular police? No. The answer is no.
That's also due to support from the Lagos state government.
Yeah. But there was a strategy that was put in place, the trust fund.
Yeah. During Fashola time.
So during Fashola time, I'm sure something can be put together. And let's hope. In managing the asset of the government.
They have died the issue of tint permit. It should not be resurrected.
What about customer service fee?
Customer service fee.
No. They should not do. I like that one. They will do special performance.
Are you their customer?
I don't plan to. But I like the music video they usually shoot.
But they said there was jubilation in the air, though. Everybody was the policemen.
I think a lot of people love him. He's antecedent when he was at Abuja, Port Harcourt, and even
jubilation. Is the jubilation
That
for the
Ebetoko
appointment
out,
of Disu
or
because
Disu in?
Ebetoko is going on?
Uh-huh.
It's in between now.
50-50.
That's what they said. They said
It's in between. So if there is jubilation,
there.
whether it's the exit of
don't know what they were.
or the new man coming in, all we know is that there's jubilation in town.
Jubilation.
Yeah.
But some people are not celebrating. The Pengasan, I mean, the head of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, Mr. Osifo, was out on this weekend. He was doing media rounds and complaining bitterly about Executive Order 9.
Yeah.
But Pengasan is not planning to go on strike. They're just appealing to the presidency. And then there's been legal tussle back and forth, different interpretations. Some SANs are saying, you know, yes, the president has the constitutional right to do so. Some other legal luminaries like Olive are saying, no, the president cannot do this. But Pengasan is to meet presidency today. What does Executive Order 9 say? Executive Order 9 says that the golden calf,
Direct remittance.
yes, the national ATM, the NNPC, the goose that lays the golden egg. The golden egg should not be going to NNPC account anymore. That egg should be laid
Directly
inside, directly inside the manger of the Federation account.
Okay. But in protest, the chairman of the Forum of the States, Akitunde Oyebode, the commissioners of finance as well, had said that remittance, that direct remittance, will only earn 1.5 trillion. He said only. He add only about. I like the way they added only.
But TUC is saying that that money that used to come to them, that's where they pay salaries from. So is it that they want to render them
Salary-less?
Benga, I reacted to this on a particular station yesterday, and I don't know why Pengasan or TUC or whatever is actually fighting for NNPCL.
They've stopped fighting Dangote. Now they've put another battle.
Though it's not to fight government on behalf of NNPCL. I'm sure NNPCL is a company on its own, owned by the government, that is representing the people. So if the person that have engaged you feel that this is the way to go, like I mentioned, you see, this Order 9 for me is something that is highly welcome, in the sense that there are a lot of leakages. You read through that. There are royalties being collected by NNPC. We can't account. They call themselves a commercial organization. Where is the account rendition? When they came up, part of their responsibility is to revive refineries. Where are they today? And Pengasan is there. This is, to me, an indictment on TUC, NLC, that they are accomplices in the failure that Nigerians have actually been suffering. They are just out there to make sure that these refineries are not, because it's one of the responsibility of NNPCL to make that thing work. Remember, for 80 years, that was the promise the last administration gave to us. The later we saw was that Port Harcourt came in, and after one day, he died, and we cannot account for some of those money. And here we are talking about it. Let NNPCL be handled as one of the agency. Every revenue generated to go to the FAC account, and let them bring out their budget and account for it. We can't go this route.
So,
all right,
we have a call,
from
but after the call, I have a question.
We have a call from Uche calling from Abia. Good morning, Uche. Thank you for calling.
Everybody.
Hello, good morning, Uche.
If you can speak up, Uche, we're struggling to hear you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Uche.
My brother Benga, there we go again. People have started praising this man, this new IG. The same way they started praising you, INEC man.
Joash. They even gave him an award before 1 week.
Allow the man to sit on that table first. Let him sit on his seat and let us see his performance before showering the praises. On the issue of what has happened in Edo, I think I have told you people what is going to happen in 2027. I'm not a soothsayer, neither am I a prophet. Until you people started talking about this official, what do you call it, talks. Government, every level, have the official talks. It is a pity the way 2027 is going to look like. If care is not taken, they are going to shed more blood. It's a pity. We people should do something. Have the presidency condemned what has happened in Edo?
No.
National Retention Agency, have they said anything in regards to thuggery? It's a pity the way Nigeria is going. God bless you people.
Thank you very much.
Very
I think we should
important.
segue to that story.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
before that, just one last story on Executive Order 9. Now that the Pengerson is to meet the presidency today on this Order 9, what should be expected? Is the presidency going to reverse it, or would they agree with the presidency? They've also said there's no plan to strike or threats of strike. Finally, before we move on to
Maybe
those states.
Joe, if Benga will allow me to use his language, Sobeoti law.
Otilo. Okay.
So why are they going to the villa? Are they going to collect thanks for coming?
Well, you know that if there is anything like that, let them go and have
Please
it.
let them Pengerson to face
you
the
see,
refineries.
before Mr. President took this order, there will definitely be
Consultation.
wide consultation. So where were they when this consultation
Maybe it
was
was not
going
wide
on?
enough.
It was not
didn't
wide enough
cover
to
them.
cover them.
Okay.
Part of the task I feel I need to give to Pengerson. Pengerson, you are the one who are responsible for some of this issue of our refinery, fighting for NNPC there to see how this Order 9 will not fly. Do the same thing to make sure that before the end of this year, we have one of our refinery start
Okay,
functioning.
interesting.
Then
One or two,
we
sir.
can get. No, let's
Okay.
give them one. If you give two, not all of that.
Let's take
For
one.
8 years, you can't even do two.
Let's take a few comments on YouTube. Mokunye Chukwemeka said, it's sad that our finance officers are overlooked because of tribalism and not competence. Frank Mba should be next, but no, he may not do the president's bidding and we have to retire 8 years earlier. Prince Ajibade says, I just love Showare's courage and audacity. He no send anybody, Papa. Prince Ajibade also goes ahead to say, Monday, D7 must be held
You know why they're saying Monday D7 there? Well, that should take us to. Is that all the
Yeah,
comments?
no.
Finish the
Monday,
comments so I
D7 must
can.
be held responsible for whatever happened in Edo State. These people are making it look like we are no longer in a democracy. Are they? He asked if they are okay upstairs. Oshomole should put his dog on it. Jibade Ofeko Bawa. He now said ordinary GCFR Monday D7 can't pronounce, but he can arrange for hoodlums to attack people. But we don't know that he did that.
It's just an
These are
allegation,
very
please.
strong-
Let's be careful.
Strong allegations. We don't know
I
that.
was just going to go there. Please, for Nigerians, let's not be too quick to
pass
juxtapose or to be able to puzzle an old incident with what that just happened. The reason why Nigerians are calling on the governor of
It's because he
Edo
won
State
Peter Obi, not
is
to
because during
encompass
he had won
we can't
Peter
ignore
Obi.
that. We'll
He
talk
said,
about that.
yes,
it's part of the
he
story.
warned him. He said if he comes the next time,
Without
and he said he made a statement there that he's serious and he means it. The next time he comes, he wouldn't like what.
So that's why I'm saying that we can't ignore that. We'll dissect the Edo State saga shortly. But the final comment for now. But the new IG is close to retirement, or is it just to honor him, or what? Mokunye Chukwemeka asked. Keep the comments coming on YouTube. New Central TV Live is where we're streaming. We'll be right back after this break to continue the conversations. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Now we are, of course, still reading the papers. I think it's time for us to head to Edo State and address what happened in Edo State, the pink elephant in the room. Before we went on the break, we took comments from YouTube. Prince Ajibade was very, very disappointed in Governor Monday Okpolo, and sort of blamed him regarding what the attacks against His Excellency Peter Obi. So now, let's draw a parallel. We are not saying one situation led to another, but the reason, in case you're wondering,
putting
why,
all the facts out there.
exactly, we're putting all the facts out there. In case you're wondering, why would Prince Ajibade say they should hold Monday Okpolo?
And other Nigerians too.
Sorry? Yes, while Prince Ajibade and other Nigerians say that Monday Okpolo should be held responsible. There was a video where he outwardly, as in it was publicly, he addressed Peter Obi, and many would argue that that video seemed to be a threat. But let's take a look at the video, and then we'll play the clip from Peter Obi's attack yesterday.
I am sending a direct message to him. There is a new sheriff in town. He cannot come to Edo without telling me, because his security will never be guaranteed. Whatever happens to him when he's in Edo State, he will take it. I am serious about it. He came the other day and donated 15 million. Somebody was saying, no, guys, she will get 15 million to donate to people. By the time he left, there was crisis. 3 people died in Benin. So for that reason, tell Obi he should not come to Edo without telling me. say with the grace, and go with the flow.
This is the ADC State Secretariat. See the injured. Look at this one. I was injured. This is the ADC State Secretariat in Edo State, Okbelaka. We just received our dignitaries today. We had a Tikapi Olumide Akpata. Was Tikapi to the ADC, and Peter Obi was here live and direct to witness it. Just few minutes after the event took place, the APC sent their thugs. They came in numbers with a Sienna or branded vehicle with pop passion. They were shooting. They destroyed vehicles. They destroyed this woman's vehicle. Look how they scattered everywhere. This is a woman who sends up to the secretariat. Look at that things that were destroyed. Is this the kind of state Mojo Pueblo wants to present over? Look at this water destruction. They said the woman was shot to the neck. The woman has been rushed to the hospital. They shot the woman to the neck. Many people were beaten and were injured. Look at our DJ, the DJ who covered the event. You can see all his vehicles have been destroyed. They stole the laptop of the DJ. They scattered his phone and his laptop was stolen. And look at that, they were scattered everywhere. See, destroyed bottles. They came with guns. They said all of them were having poppers on their house and they were shooting sporadically in this venue. Look at this guy's bicycle. They stole his bicycle. Look at his leg. They beat people. Look at what happened. See, they destroyed what is here. See, this violence cannot allow to continue.
So, there you have it. The videos out there in the open. Let's get Mr. Okunade's response.
Sincerely speaking, it's disheartening, looking at this. I remember when the governor of Edo State came out with that clips. I don't know whether it was here or on another station. I condemned that act. And I said that's the major reason why a lot of people will tell you that we are not right for state policing. Because when a governor is coming out openly to attack, an excellency like you, whether you like it or not, whether the person is in opposition or not, that's the former governor of a state like you, the former presidential aspirant for a political party. I feel that the way politicians rock things, they tend not to even respect one another. How will you feel if after 4 years he leaves office and this kind of treatment is melted on him as an individual? That's the first thing every politician must put before themselves when you're trying to make any that's Peter Obi is coming to the town without mentioning to you. There is this camaraderie. Let's leave politicking out of this whole thing. And aside that, some of the people that they're actually mobilizing to carry out this attack, I keep telling them, you will be used and done. If they sacrifice your life in the midst of carrying out some of this attack, your family will not actually be considered.
Go to a situation where they are now uncontrollable and they will come back. And
at least those are the reasons why some people said some of the problem we are facing in the north started with this kind of grooming people to be used at a particular point during electioneering process, and now it's getting out of hand. So I feel it's indecent on my part. Whether you're on the other party or this other party, there is this mutual respect for office. Whether you like it, is excellency. He was once a governor of a state, a presidential aspirant of a political party, and the fact that the governor is not coming out to even condemn it or to even pass a comment. I'm not saying don't even condemn, but at least to acknowledge that there was a problem and there are times that people will even mobilize an attack, and you will come out and say, an attack came out yesterday, we actually acknowledged it and we are condemning that act. Absolutely. Even if it is you that even send them. But for the fact that
I agree with you 100%, Mr. Okunade. The words are powerful and words have meanings.
Yeah.
For the position and authority of an executive governor, he should have been more circumspect with the words he was uttering. Number one, your security will not be guaranteed.
That's the strongest
statement you make. That's an indictment.
It's like an open check that you are giving to people that anywhere you cite him in this state, I have given my order.
Veto.
Just go ahead. I'm sure if you review that statement, you will see the implication. Because what you have said is that your security is not guaranteed.
It's
if you don't mention the people, it's like just telling anybody anywhere you see this guy.
It's like anything you see.
Don't do anything.
Let's take a call. We have a call coming in. Good morning. Thank you for calling.
Oh,
Bethel, sorry.
Bethel, try and call
And
back,
for
please.
me, election is coming. We don't. These are things that will not create apathy. That people won't want to come out and vote.
But the question is, did we have to wait for it to get to this level where there's been an attempted attack on the ADC and invariably on His Excellency Peter Obi, or should it not have been addressed at the point when the statement was made, when the threat was made?
I'm sure a lot of people, the way they will say it is that he has just made that words, let it just go.
No.
That's the way some people a lot of people will tell you that it's just a statement that he did on impulse.
I'd like us to trace back, and I'm sure our viewers will agree with this. Let's just track back. Let's start eve of 2023. Iya Chukudi, Mama Chukudi.
Don't come out to vote.
Don't come out to vote.
They say it's joke.
No come out. If you come, what thing you go see?
Maybe you carry on.
Track back to 2023 after the governorship elections and the House of Assembly where where Lagos State was lost, or rather still yes, and then the area boys came out with the cane. Anyway, we have a call. Let's take a call before we continue from where I stopped. Good morning.
We have a call from Benin.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Dixon, please go ahead.
God, all the way from Benin.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened.
Please, I want to say
What's going on in your state? Oh? They say people are
You know-
beating and destroying chairs and shooting bullets.
let us continue because that is the way they are doing. Because our governor said Obaseki not to enter Edo State. That's one that they run, they go. Maybe the day we will see come to Edo State now, that we see start shooting. This is the way he want to govern Edo State. What our governor will be doing right now, that 200 million votes, he starts to be going and looking for that 2 million vote he want to give to the president. He's not doing that. They are destroying. Thank you very much. That's what I wanted to say.
All right. You know what I like believe. I don't know how
That's
this
the
fondness
point.
with them. They don't miss
No
one.
sugar
They just tell you straight up.
They say we're going to find it.
Go find it. You don't go find out. You get there in the streets.
He also, stray bullet also caught Obaseki.
Everybody.
That's how they run. So today we go enter inside.
I don't understand.
And they enjoy their flow. You see why the guy they make that comment when that video they play. He get away with it, they talk their thing. You know they go far.
No.
They know this Queen's English is not.
No,
There's Queen's Pidgin.
There's
You know, give it to eat.
They
They know they waste time.
Nothing like it.
Some message people will pass for like 5, 7, 10
30
minutes.
seconds.
30 seconds. They don't pass that. They don't
They
want.
don't move.
They don't move.
Let me go
More
back to what I was saying quickly. Let me see if I can piggyback. I will look at the Al Jazeera newspaper next, but quickly, if you track back, you know how area boys who came out with canes, and people were remember the video where they were going to each street by street, like they were going for some form of campaign. No come out, or if you know you don't come out, and everybody kept quiet. At the polling units, people came out. We saw what they were saying. Who did they vote for? Come, if you vote for this person. They were threatening people. The lady who had the cut, remember the lady who was bleeding?
Yes, in Lagos.
And they attacked her. It has been happening. Now come to the FCT elections. The FCT minister says, go and vote, leave it, I will do the rest. The FCT, before that, he says, if you're not voting for President Tinubu, let me warn you,
And impose a unilateral
I will not support
curfew.
anybody that doesn't do that. What are we saying? And then somebody says, your security is not guaranteed.
Joe, if all those things that you've actually put together, permit me to say that most of these are leaders. The emotional intelligence is actually not there. I think most of them just speaks on impulse, because of what they are protecting and what they are actually guided. There are more civil ways to do some of those things to protect even your interest without attacking the other party. What happens if the incidents happen that your family member who is not in line with you is the one that was attacked on the other side that you have actually mobilized people? Must we kill ourselves all in the name of politicking? We can be more civil. I will still blame the governor for that particular statement on me. The fact remains that how many of these other politicians come to the state and they have to take permission? So even if he's coming for private activities, somebody is doing a wedding ceremony, or they've invited him for a book launch, he must first, because of his position, say, Governor, they come your state to take approval.
The government will say no.
But Nigerian
no.
constitution
Like now.
guarantees you freedom of.
Like now,
freedom
Gwenga,
and
this one that I went to Abuja last week now.
So you now call the FCC minister that
Maybe Mr. Lady Olayinka will pick the call.
I said, people who have criticized the FCC minister on your show, therefore,
Stay
you
in
are not allowed to
the
go.
border of Nasser. You not tell the pilots, please.
Okay, let's quickly take Al Jazeera and see the front page. Keep your comments coming on YouTube. We'd like to take a few more comments from YouTube before we get to the end of the show. But let's get to Al Jazeera newspaper.
Let's put it on the screen.
On the front page of Al Jazeera newspaper, the big story there says, recapitalization, 20 banks scale CBN hurdle, 1 month to deadline.
Wow.
Congratulations to the
And
20
they did
banks.
this without mergers and acquisitions.
Although there are a few measures coming up.
There are a few measures
coming up.
Yes,
So the banks will
so.
reduce in numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. But congratulations to them. 1 month to the deadline. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can aspire, you can acquire.
And Perspire.
Apex Bank reduces interest rate from 27% to 26.50%. We talked about this earlier. Rate cut signals economic recovery, stockbrokers say. Diri's Chief of Staff, Akpe, replaces late Bayelsa Deputy Governor. Rivers records improvements in health sector. Suspected thugs attack DC Secretariat, Oyegun's residence in Benin. Federal government files fresh charges against Ozekome. That's another one. Minister restates commitment to rebuilding public trust in government. AIG Disu steps in as Egbetokun resigns. Adamawa born scholar earns US varsity PhD at 25. What? Aims to make AI safer. Now, I need to celebrate this person. I'm so sorry. This is a beautiful story. This is a story of someone who is just 25 years old.
It's beautiful, but why US?
Wait now. At just 25 years old, Dr. Faisal Adamu Haman has joined a rare class of young scientists shaping the future of artificial intelligence. Fresh from earning a doctorate in electrical and computer engineering from the University of Maryland, the Adamawa-born researcher is tackling one of the most urgent questions in modern technology. Can we trust AI? But you're asking why US?
I want to answer that now.
Please let him answer. Let you answer.
so that you don't
have your own say.
Please answer.
You say why US? Where is the environment to make it happen here?
No, I'm not saying here. It could go to China and lead.
Okay, your own issue is with US.
Your own is with US. I was thinking that because it's a Nigerian, it should happen here in
Trump
Nigeria.
has said people should stop coming to.
But he's a citizen.
But he's a citizen there.
Oh,
now.
he's a citizen.
The Adamawa-born. And Adamawa-born US citizen.
US citizen.
But last week, too, at this point
He's a
in
US
Nigeria, ensure that one day we can have reports like this, or 25-year-old doctor. Because what we have in our education system are people that say, I got a C in this course. A lecturer said it when I was in university.
A is for
A is
God.
for God,
B
B
is
is for
for
my
BC.
wife. The best you can get in this course is a C.
I heard that too in the course of one of the assignments I was doing for someone. I'm like, where do you say that A is for you, B is for your wife, and C is the one that you can give? So even if you do anything worthwhile, you can get it. There are a lot of things that we need to put in the right perspective. I said it on the particular station to say, see, those behind the scene making things happen in other countries, majority of them are Nigerians.
Of course.
They are Nigerian. If you go and check their blood, even if they are white, you trace their blood, you go see say they are from Nigeria. Why are they making those things? There is this inborn gift that God has given to us that everywhere we go, we shine. But is there enabling environment to make things happen? A lot of students are complaining. That place, each time I travel, let me make you laugh.
Please, make
the
me
first thing I run to is to see how to plug my phone. Because we are used to it now.
Trauma.
You know, if you are not going there, you'll be going everywhere with your power bank.
Even
Like
the
Benga
minister
now,
is-
carry
Even the
his
minister
charger.
now has
Benga's got his charger during commercial break. Look at Benga charging his phone. there.
So you can understand. But then I would just say, calm down now. Even if your phone is 2%, nobody is taking supply. Yeah, and I'm like, so you are not thinking of they will take off the light. When should I read? A lot of students have actually factored when to read. Is it during the day because they won't have light at night, or during at night?
Or
when
they
they
use
have light, they
candle
don't
lamp.
have.
I
So a
use
lot
candle
of
to
use
read
them.
now. Awoko.
Candle,
Candle
okay. Now some of
people
us
died.
there's one thing they call lantern.
Yes,
you know that lantern where
yes,
they go
you
put
open
it,
and
but you open
Wick,
it.
you put on, you can't roll out.
You roll out.
Use broom, take push
Kerosene,
out.
then you-
Kerosene.
you can't roll
Some
out.
of us use, when some people now come and say, your eye is having you, I say, you know what we take read when we do
You know
read those
wetin the
things?
eye don't see.
Wait, don't see. So we should create that enabling environment. I keep telling everyone that cares to listen that this country is blessed with human capital that you can easily tap into. You will see a student, a pupil here, maybe in primary 3, primary 4, and he's like a 10th position. You will hear that the parent japa, and he will become number 1 when he gets to UK,
Absolutely.
to US.
Because he has better living conditions to be able
A
to
lot of
accelerate.
things that will make him think straight.
Okay, our final comment. Olumide Alade says the most important thing in Nigeria is for all political stakeholders to operate within the rule of law. When the rule of law is respected, citizens will be free to choose their leaders through fair elections. By now, Nigerian politics should have progressed far beyond this stage. Unfortunately, we are where we are.
And
but we'll continue to
it would be
advocate for
nice to
better.
hear from the Edo State Police Command if any arrests have been made, because crimes were committed. And I mean, how do you have guns?
And the
in
government
hands of
needs to
individuals?
All right, guys.
The government needs to speak
We need
up.
to wrap up. They have come to chase us from the studio. We'll see you
Time
again
is up.
tomorrow.
Thank you so
for
much. Jesse
joining
is
us.
up next. Thank you, Mr. Lucius
Bye, thank
It's
Okonjo.
a pleasure to be with
See you
you.
guys tomorrow. All right. Former Labour Party presidential candidate and now a leading figure in the African Democratic Congress, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, alongside party chieftain John Oyegun, narrowly escaped what has been tagged an assassination in Benin City, Edo State on Tuesday. The incident occurred shortly after a rally welcoming former Labour Party governorship candidate Olumide Akpata into the ADC. According to aides, suspected hoodlums first disrupted activities at the party secretariat on Ogbelaka Street before trailing the politicians to Oyegun's residence, where gunmen opened fire on their convoy, damaging vehicles and the gate. Security operatives reportedly returned fire, forcing the attackers to flee. While no fatalities were recorded, some injuries were reported. The Nigeria Police Force confirmed receiving distress calls about the invasion and said the situation has since been brought under control. In a video now circulating online, Peter Gregory Obi condemned the attack as unacceptable and warned that acts of violence must never be allowed to undermine Nigeria's democracy. Take a look.
Look at our DJ, the DJ who covered the event. You can see all his vehicles have been destroyed. They stole the laptop of the DJ. They scattered his phone and his laptop was stolen. And look at how they were scattered everywhere. See, destroyed bottles. They came with guns. They say all of them were having pop-ups on their house and they were shooting sporadically in this venue. Look at this guy's bicycle. They stole his bicycle. Look at his leg. They beat people. Look at what happened. See, they destroyed properties here. See, this violence cannot allow to continue. The power arm of the DJ we are taking. See, this is Edo State, and the power of opposition cannot be subdued. Everybody who wants to join the APATC must be allowed to join so. We have the right to gather, we have the right to participate. Any form of intimidation and oppression that they are using in this state to oppress us will not be allowed to accept it. This is totally unacceptable. Nigeria cannot survive. We cannot be a one-party state. And yes, the government is seeking for 2.5 million votes. Imaginary votes by deploying thugs to hand and fight the opposition. See, Nigeria cannot be sustained in this manner. Mondokoro must get the message clear. And we will continue to stand our ground. Enough of this killing.
Wait. Yes. Everybody man that leave me. The other guy carry key. I know that he wants to shoot and he can for the mother to come for us.
Force by the back. I had to pay the hospital, the clinic bills, and I take care of the guy. The structure there is another level.
They wounded
And the secretariat there, yeah, they shot somebody. They blast the guy head here, blast him at the back. They beat him merciless. Yes, they shot one man in the neck, down hospital. This thing is getting, we cannot sincerely continue like this.
Who are the people doing this?
It's also the ABC talks, we know. They have a history of violence.
Make a formal complaint, and I'll show you. We'll make a formal complaint, and I'll show you. This cannot continue at all. We have a country. Yes, sir. And we are part of the country. Exactly. You know, we cannot have terrorism terrorizing the country and have officials in government terrorizing citizens. It's not acceptable.
Okay, so that attack happened yesterday, Benga. We've seen series of attacks. Don't forget that the ADC has witnessed 2 attacks of same kind in Lagos. The first was when Gbadebo Rhodes, former Labour Party governorship aspirant, was moving to the ADC in Lagos, and it was attacked. The event was scattered by thugs. The second was when other members of the Labour Party decided to move to the ADC just a few months ago, and they had their event also scattered by thugs, and they were warned not to return. So the question...
We've also seen this in Kano and Kaduna.
Yes.
Yes. So
where people were running for life.
And elections have not started. This is just political parties, opposition parties, trying to hold meetings and spend, and deliberate and spend time together. It's really, really sad, and it's unfortunate that we still refer to what we have in Nigeria as a democracy, when people cannot go about their constitutional duties peacefully. They were not protesting. It wasn't a rally. They were just sitting down And I mean, the Nigerian Constitution guarantees you the right to peaceful association, right to freedom of association. And there you can see in the video dispelled spent cartridges of pump-action rifles. We thank God that no life was lost, because I mean, this level of violence, shooting guns, could easily lead to loss of lives, and it's very, very unfortunate. The Nigerian police should be more proactive and not come to the scene after the damage has been done. It doesn't look, I mean, the prospect for the future doesn't look bright if we're seeing this level of disruptions. And 2027 is fast approaching, and we're seeing this level of intolerance in the political scene.
What you see in Nigerian police force, where the IG goes about with about 10 convoys, then you see a commissioner of police goes about with 4 convoys, and there is no operational police van in the division. You see a DPO takes a police customized police van to himself, and there is no operational police van. So all these are institutional breakdown. And when you, I don't know if any one of you have visited the IG office, you'll be shocked how big it is. But you also see within that force headquarters, you see some offices. As it's not even my kitchen, it is not even like as big as my kitchen or my restroom in my room. But you see the office of the Inspector General of Police is as big. They said there's one for VIPs, there's one for not VIPs, there's one for dining, there's one for this, there's one for that. It makes no sense. So there needs to be an holistic overall of the institution, an holistic overall. And I believe with this new IG and the way he is appointed, I believe he's coming here to serve some interest rather than serve the taxpayers.
We're joined via audio with the former Commissioner of Police in the FCT, Mr. Lawrence Alobi, joins us. Unfortunately, we have been trying to see if we can get him on video conferencing, but it seems very impossible. If you can hear us this morning, thank you for joining us, and good morning to you.
For having me too.
Great. So what's your take on the recent resignation of the IGP, and what's your take on the new entrants, the acting IGP?
Yes, like I reported that the former IGP resigned based on family consideration. It is personal decision. Maybe the family has advised him to resign. We cannot question that. His personal opinion, and in that case, the government has no option than to accept the resignation. So he cannot force on a willing horse. He has put it on. He has given his best to the nation, and I felt that this is a time to back out, and he has done that honorably. So I think in that case, we cannot question his resignation or going to investigate why did he resign. And you need to ask about the acting general of police, IGP Disu.
I think he's an officer who might know too well. He's very competent, capacity, and I'm sure he'll transform and reinvent and join police force because the police force has undergone a lot of challenges. Some of us who are retired officers, I retired 2007 at CPF City Abuja. So the things I see, but I bleed in my heart. But I'm sure that this will right the wrong and get things right. Because it's my constituency, and I did policing with a passion. Anything that affects the police, for me, I see it affects me as a person. I want to see the progress of the police. I want to see the police be uplifted. I want to see the police shining. I want to see that things now going contrary to our core values, our standard, professional standard of the force and so forth. No, I don't get happy at all. But I'm sure now I think Mr. President has done well by accepting his resignation, and he has played his part. Let some other person take over. This is now the one on board. I'm sure that I'm very, very confident. This is an officer with capacity, intellectual capacity, personal capacity, administrative capacity. He has even international experience capacity. He was the commander of Nigerian contingency to Sudan. So the international experience I think will add more value to what he's going to do. And I'm very optimistic that with the cooperation and understanding of every officer and men, the point is that leadership determines followership. The leadership style of the officer determines the followership of those behind the officers and men of any institution. So I know this is a dynamic officer with a listening ear, and I'm sure he will listen to advice, will seek advice when necessary, and I'm sure that things will change for good for this country in terms of internal security and policing.
And just now, you said there were certain things that you saw and you were not happy with it, the way it was going. Could you highlight what these things are, and what will be your scorecard of the outgoing IG of police?
In terms of discipline, in terms of officers, policemen dress in various ways. In many occasions, I will arrest officers when they're properly dressed. I'll call their officer, I'll call their CP, and say they should be tried because we have a dress code, because that is what gives us our dignity as a force, you know. So sometimes the policemen dress very shabbily, they wear whatever they like, officers don't lack of supervision, discipline was going down the drain, and that was not good enough because discipline is a core value of the force, the black wire of the force. When discipline is not being convinced as something that's important, it destroys the force. Officers and men will not be doing their job in terms based on professional standard. Professional standard have to be reinvented. We need to have that professional standard which the force is known for. And those of us who served for 35 years, I started as a police constable, and I went it all. So I know, and that discipline is very important. Administrative competence is there in terms of issues that affect administration, in terms of welfare, in terms of promotion. Is it based on merit? Is it based on primordial considerations and so forth? So these are things that I think the incoming acting IG will address, and I'm sure that the force, like I said, you will reinvent and transform the Nigerian police force to give the force the image it deserves as a key lead agency in internal security, because your capacity also determines your confidence. You know how you assert yourself. The police also have the dorsal some areas. For instance, when I was Deputy Commissioner of Police and Operations, when we had Chogom, the military brought captains to become ADC, and I complained to General Guzo, was in the NSA then, and Jamame was chief of staff to Mr. President. I said, the ADC function is not a military function, it's police function. And I said, please, you don't militarize policing in a democracy. And General Guzo and General Mohammed saw with me and said, Lawrence, this you are right. They asked me to return all the captains. I was asked to bring officers from all the commands and now mobilize DSPs and all DSPs and so forth to now become as ADs, and I briefed them. So these are the things. Sometimes the police need to assess themselves, not they just say anything. Take like for instance now, most cases you shall see the military have almost taken all police function. We're not supposed to be so. Even the Armed Forces Act, the Constitution provides when the military should come in aid of the police, and it is defined. But now it appears the military have taken over our function, building the police in the background. What is it? Democracy. Even in the military rule, the police are always there to build public confidence on the government. So, but now, you see, the police are, like you see, you go to travel along the road, see roadblocks everywhere. That isn't supposed to be so. We are not a military regime. When a civilian dispensation, and our police should be civil in nature, not militarized policing. And then the issue of abuse of human rights, policemen, this issue of they don't apply emotional intelligence in their law enforcement and policing. They always have clashes with the members of the public. This is not supposed to be so. Police and the citizens are also work should be symbiotic relationship between the police and the citizens, and that's when they can also enjoy the minds and hearts of the citizens. That's when they can enjoy public trust. Because when somebody, this is there for my interest, but when they don't just see, we see sometimes some of us think that we are that colonial mentality that the police is there to be used by the government against the citizens. Not at all. The police should not be alienated from the people, and the police should be alienated from the police. Because the police and the people need to work together to good society, for internal security of the country, peace and security of the country, and for good governance. With that policing, no nation can do that, the police.
Hello, Mr. Alobi, if I may come in at this point. You've spoken quite passionately about the ills and some of the issues that the Nigerian police force is currently dealing with. Now, as a former insider, you've also spoken about the need to reinvent and transform the Nigerian police force. But how powerful is the Inspector General of Police? Can one man alone institute institutional-wide changes that would reinvent and transform the police? Do you think the IGP, the new IGP, Mr. Tunji Disu, can do it alone? Wouldn't he need the police service commission and other things to pull through these reforms? Because I believe he has the goodwill and he has positive intentions to change this. Is it possible?
Yeah, see, nobody's an island. Nobody knows it all. Life is based on the principle of reciprocity and collaboration and cooperation. No agency can do it alone. No IGP can do it alone. A leader has to organize a team spirit and through consultation. I must have a listening ear, and like I'm sure this is going to have a think tank that will sometime advise him, and like I said, it's an officer with a listening ear, and then again the officer with loyalty also from the junior officers, other officers and men of the force. Like in the force, there's nothing like competition. I've always emphasized that. Nothing like cliquism or some people are loyal to this. The loyalty should now all be anchored on this two. All of us are men of whatever rank, and the new management team that will be constituted should also be loyal to work as a team spirit. No question of rivalry, no kind of infighting or cliquism. They should work as a team. They work like fingers of one hand. Look at fingers are not the 5 fingers are not they are not all equal size. They want to lift an object with your hand. No finger will say I will not lift. They all work that together in that spirit of unity, that spirit of team spirit. So I think that's what I expect the incoming management team to work as a team, focus on library, and the new IGC should have broad-based consultation. And like I said, I know him too well. The man is a man with a listening ear. He's a humble man. It's always sometimes when people don't have capacity or because of ego, they will not listen to advice, they don't take to advice. But I know I'm very, very, very optimistic. I have absolute confidence in DCU that he has the capacity, the operational capacity, and capacity. Even I told you earlier about international experience. So that all put together, I'm sure, makes him a very qualified, utterly qualified as an IGP of this country. And I'm sure he will make a difference.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. We've been speaking with the former Commissioner of Police, FCT, Mr. Lawrence Alobi, who has thrown his weight behind the new Inspector General of Police, who actually will resume office right away. Thanks for your time, and thank you so much for joining us.
In a major shakeup of the nation's security leadership, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has accepted the resignation of Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun, citing pressing family reasons. In his place, Tunji Disu, former head of Intelligence Response Team, has been appointed acting Inspector General of Police. He becomes the 23rd Inspector General of Police following Kayode Egbetokun's resignation from the force.
Now, this is not just a personnel change, but a move that comes at a time when insecurity remains a pressing national concern. We shall be analyzing what this leadership change means for Nigeria's security architecture, policing reforms, and the political undertones of this decision. We'll be joined by experts to break it all down. Now, joining us for this discussion are former Commissioner of Police in the FCT, Lawrence Alobi, who will be joining us much later. But let's start the conversation with legal practitioner Towo Oseruwoja. Good morning, learned colleague. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Judith.
All right, let's get your thoughts on the removal of the former IG Egbetokun. Do you believe that it is one done truly on the basis of personal family reasons as genuine resignation, or do you think that is a quiet removal that has some undertones, especially because there have been concerns and criticisms raised over his tenure elongation by President Tinubu? You saw how Chore has been campaigning and advocating for his resignation for the longest time. Let's get your thoughts.
Okay, let me start it from the last statement you made regarding controversies surrounding his tenure. If you look at it, I've stated it time without number in this platform and outside this platform, and when educating people when it comes to the statutory provision of the Inspector General of Police, that it is stated clearly. If you look at Section 7, Section 6 of the Nigerian Police Act 2022, the tenure of an Inspector General of Police when you assume that office is 4 years. So there is no controversy, and that is an express and explicit provision of the law, which cannot be override by a general provision of that particular act. So that is for that. Then the other issue, if it is pressing or individual or whatever reasons he has given, if you look at Section 7, if you look at subsection 5 of the Nigerian Police Act, you could see that it is stated clearly. There are three conditions or three provisions in which an Inspector General of Police can be removed. One, by the President on the advice of the Police Council. Then two, when the Inspector General of Police is of the provision of or is caught up with what we call gross misconduct. That is a ground for its removal. That is a ground for its removal. Then gross violation of the Constitution is another ground under that second aspect. Then his inability to perform his duty as an Inspector General of Police is still under the second ground I was talking about. Then the last one is the elapse of his tenure of 4 years, which is not renewable. So let's come by in the public domain, he resigned. Yes. Can it be on the ground of incapacity to discharge his responsibility on the ground of his family or family ties? So we can peck it on that. So that is a voluntary resignation. So it should not be tied to the fact that is a silent removal, except it comes out to debunk it, that he was forced to resign. So it's like a voluntary means of resignation within the fact and knowledge we are discussing this particular topic.
Just before we speak about the newly appointed acting Inspector General of Police, subject to confirmation by the Senate, what's your assessment of Mr. Kayode Agbetoko's tenure as Inspector General of Police? We do remember the tin permit controversy and a few more controversies. How would you rate his performance as Inspector General of Police? Was he able to push certain reforms in the police? Is the police force now better than he met it?
Unfortunately, I will rate his tenure as a total failure, and I also rate his tenure as his inability to strengthen or spare out the constitutional or institutional functions of the police. There have been a lot of issues where the police comes out, and at the same time, under his leadership, they failed the citizen in every areas you can ever think of in policing. And I'm surprised, though, in terms of where I am currently, and for everywhere, meaning Nigeria, you discover that Agbetoku would have resigned long before now. One, you look at the promotion. There've been lot of scandals in terms of the promotion level within the rank of the police. You look at the professionalism of the police; it becomes more worse than ever. You could see that innocent citizens were tear gassed, and such would have been done within his knowledge or within the briefing, and nobody is questioned. I will also record a lot of adoption from the police, where people were being harassed, adopted from their house in terms of what they call arrest. You also recall that under his tenure, this tinted permit issue, which for me, well, if it's well and properly handled, it would have been a fine thing. Then you also recall that under his tenure, there have been a lot of security breach in Nigeria. The police as normally and as consistently disobey what we call a direct order from a chain of command, whereby you say that you see police coming out openly to say, oh, that is the Inspector General of Police